How would you like to land your dream job in a 3D industry? 3D Training Institute is launching a monthly Studio Recruiter webinar series. Whether you're an aspiring professional or completely new to 3D, benefit by hearing the answers to the industry's big questions, such as what are studio recruiters looking for when making hiring decisions, and how can you get started learning a 3D software package today? Stan Szymanski, founder of Stanley Vision, is a senior visual effects, animation, and digital media executive with over 30 years of experience in talent acquisition, artist management, and production and studio operations management, and will be featured as the inaugural speaker in this webinar series, sharing his wealth of knowledge about the inside workings of the industry on how to get hired, what recruiters are looking for, and tips for creating and building a successful career in a 3D world. Listen in as Stan shares one of his insider tips.
Hi, I'm Stan Szymanski. I'm the President and Chief Resource Strategist of Stanley Vision, and I'm here today to talk to you about landing your dream job in 3D. I find that it always helps to know what you want to do, so what we're going to talk about today is what the jobs are, and hopefully this will provide you a roadmap that can help you hone in on your specific area of interest. Now, what I've found is that all jobs fall into four broad categories, and those are creative, technical, project management, and company management. And this is true about any industry, whether it's film, television, games, mobile apps, animation. All jobs fall under these four broad categories. First up, we're going to talk about creative. In creative, this is where you're developing content. This is where you're telling a story. This is where you're developing the characters that will tell your story. You're building worlds that your characters will inhabit. You're creating pictures or storyboards. You're doing visual development. You're designing characters, and you're developing environments for your characters to inhabit. Some of the job titles that fall within this include storyboard artist, production designer, art director, concept artist, and character designer. There are many other positions that fall under all of these categories. I'm just going to try to give you an indication of a few in each category. Next up is technical. And this is where the tools are created to bring to life the contents that you've developed. This is where the research is done on the technologies, the tools, and the techniques needed to create your content. You're developing new hardware in some cases. You're developing new software. You're defining workflow processes. You're building pipelines. You're creating technology architecture. This is also where you're supporting all of this technology that's being developed. And this is typically referred to as systems administration and information technology. Some of the positions that fall under this include software engineer, pipeline architect, systems engineer, information technology engineer, and of course, technical director. The technical director is an interesting category as it really bridges the gap between creative and technology. There are many different types of technical directors, but by and large, what you're doing as a technical director is harnessing technology to create the story. You are an artist, but you have to be extremely adept at being able to use technology. Next up is production management. This deals with the day-to-day operations of a specific project. This is where you're dealing with fiscal reporting, you're creating budgets, and you're managing budgets. This is where you're dealing with the individual scheduling and progress tracking of a project. There are typical multiple levels within production management. There is the executive level, which is dealing with the overall project budget and schedule. This is where most of the interface happens with the clients, the directors, the overall studios, the senior creative that are running the game. This is also where production management falls, and this is more nuts and bolts in the trenches, creating the images. There's also project coordination that's supporting production management and executive management. And then there's production support, which basically supports the entire shebang. The categories that fall under production management include executive producer, producer, which takes many different forms. You could be a visual effects producer, you could be a digital producer, you could be an animation producer. There's many other categories as well, but there are multiple categories within a producer, as there are within a production manager, which is another category. You could be an animation production manager, a digital production manager, a compositing production manager, etc. There are project coordinators, or just generally called coordinators, and then there's a production assistant who does everything from creating paperwork, generating reports, supporting the more senior management in schedules and distribution of production notes. And then next up is facility management, which deals with the day-to-day running of a company. This includes the overall supervision of the employees, the fiscal management and the profit and losses of an individual company, and the overall supervision of multiple projects and the technology and pipelines needed to create those projects. So there is usually a level of senior or executive management. There is also talent management. There are talent acquisition categories, scheduling, finance, and human resources, to name a few. Some of the jobs that exist within facility management would include general manager, a human resources specialist, an accountant, a department head, a trainer, or a recruiter. So hopefully this has given you a little bit of information that can help you target your career search and help you land your dream job in 3D.
For more tips like these and the opportunity to speak live with Stan, we invite you to reserve your seat now and register today for our inaugural webinar, January 21st.